Frankfurt. We've got a real good matchup here, even if the weather is not the best. We also have the battle of the Nikos. Coach of Eintracht Frankfurt, Nico Anautis, and Frankfurt, Nico Schneck. Schneck, of course, is an interim coach with Theresa Merck away on maternity leave for Freiburg. And we're just waiting for kickoff here. And there we have it, the kickoff. Eintracht Frankfurt against Freiburg in the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga, the Women's Bundesliga, the top flight here in Germany, and a win for Frankfurt, the hosts, will put them top of the table. It's the last game of the matchday 6. And Frankfurt know exactly what they need to do. That's just leaked out of play. Barbara Dunst not quite reaching it. Austria international. Of course, the new Germany squad is being announced on Tuesday with the new coach Christian Wöck. It'll be interesting to see how many Frankfurt players will be in that squad. Given how well they're going this season, you would expect to be quite a lot. Of course, Laura Freigang is the big star for Frankfurt. She will almost certainly be in there, but Nicola Nyomi as well, and she's hopefully won a foul for her team there. She has. And Nico Nautis there, the long-serving coach of Frankfurt, really. Been there since 2020. 137 games. This is 138th game in the Women's Bundesliga. And Kenny's side. Oh, some trouble early on here. It's going to be Lursen, the new name in the lineup, who's going to whip it in. So nicely. Just drifted over Nyomi there. And Berggrafer dealt with it cleanly, even with the slippery conditions. And now a quick break maybe for Freiburg. Space for Karl, the fullback. And there's Freigang. Dunst breaking well there and trying to slip in. And Nyomi, and it's been a good start so far for Frankfurt. Of course, Freigang and Nyomi will almost certainly be in that first squad for the new coach for the friendlies against England at Wembley, and indeed the game in Duisburg against Australia later on this month. Big changes in the Germany side with Alexander Popp, the captain, announcing a retirement, and Marina Hedering, a long-serving defender, and indeed obviously Merle Frooms, the goalkeeper, with a real surprise retirement from international football. So there is scope there for several Frankfurt players who might have been on the fringes to get into that squad. Throw's gone to the hosts. Rain perhaps easing off ever so slightly. And there's Nico Schneck, the coach of Freiburg, just for this season at the moment, while he fills in. Have to see if Theresa Merck comes back after her maternity leave, but at the moment the former Duisburg coach Schneck is in charge for this season. And it's been going well so far. He spent a year at Duisburg, 2022-23 season. They've since been relegated. As we know, Freiburg, both the men's team and the women's team, they like to point from within or appoint younger coaches, and that was a good piece of goalkeeping there as the ball came round the back. Well, Grefer, who so far this season has really improved their reputation. It was a superb ball by Dunst there. And that's superb goalkeeping. She hadn't got there, could well have been a goal. Frankfurt already breaking the lines. Loosen again. Good tussle down on that touchline. Dunst has it. Moved in. Drop here. The Volta has a crack. Well, it's worth a go. Here, Sophie Walter. Ball eventually came across to her. And have a crack, why not? The right back is another player that will expect to be in Tuesday's Germany squad. As will Lisa Sense there, number 6, now on the ball. Such a calming presence for both Frankfurt and Germany when she plays. And a lot of people tipping Sophia Kleinherner to maybe get in the squad as well there, the centre-back. Sara Dursun there, the captain, will almost certainly be in the squad. And the door may have opened for her with Marina Hegering's retirement. Freigang on the ball. Oh, that's a good ball, isn't it? Not the greatest of crosses, though. And Nyemi's taking up good positions there in the box, but Frankfurt midfield are not quite finding him at the moment. Freigang is spinning in the hole and playing the little passes he's so famous for. The final ball's not quite been there so far. Dunst battling for the ball, and she thought she'd won herself a corner. She hasn't. Decent link up there with Reuteler of Switzerland and Dunst, the Austrian. Alpine duo there on the left-hand side. Reuteler has 3 goals so far this term, and scored in the most recent win over Essen. Well, Freigang is the joint top scorer in the Bundesliga with 5 goals. 2 against Essen. But it was Naomi who got the big goals. 2 goals in that sensational win over Wolfsburg. It really has put Frankfurt in the fight for this Bundesliga title. It's very early to say that when we're only in the 6th match day, but that's how the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga goes these days. One team drops points and all of a sudden it opens up for another. And a 3-horse race for the title would make it extra exciting this year. Frankfurt a little adrift in 3rd last season, but could be topped by tonight. We've got to find that final ball though to do that. And again, that wasn't the best pass. And Lisa Sense couldn't really do much with that as it came back to her from Reuteler. Freiburg have to get out of their own half here. Zikai, the form player for the visitors. Germany Youth International. 3 goals already this season for Zikai. Top scorer for Freiburg. And there's Stina Johannes, the Frankfurt keeper, who many expect will get a place in Tuesday's squad, given Melle Frums has retired from international football. You'd expect Ann-Kathrin Berger to be the number 1 under Vogt, but Johannes has had such a solid start to the season. She will be a very able deputy indeed. Patient build-up from the hosts here. And Yomi dropping deep this time rather than Freigang. Sense. Dunst. Set a bit wide. Freigang is there and strangely passed backwards. And she was in a bit of space there. And that's crashed against a Frankfurt player. But Greve sweeps up. Susanne Greve. Well, it was worth a hit from the back line. And the captain, Bursard. Long way out, but with slippery conditions. There's no reason why that might not work out for the best. Just wasn't quite on target. Karl's getting a lot of the ball here for Freiburg on the left. Looks to be their best outlet at the moment from the left back. And Yomi showing her strength. Superb layoff. And the space here. Freigang does some tricks. Oh, it's clipped the top of the bar. And it's actually been given as a corner. And Lara Freigang there was given far too much room by the Freiburg defence. Well, she cuts inside, unleashes deflection, and it clips the top of the bar. But that's the closest we've been to a goal after 12 minutes. And it's the Frankfurt captain, Lara Freigang. One comes in. She's free again there. And how you can leave a player of her quality completely... She didn't make the most of it. But if that was zonal marking, it went very badly wrong. Axman, who's come in for this game, completely lost her. And having just clipped the bar, Freigang will be kicking herself. She didn't make more of that. Such a clever player, Freigang. Which is why we expect her now maybe to be a mainstay of that Germany side, with Alexander Popp retiring. Play up top, can play in the hole. When you think about the wider retirements in the women's game, you think about Alex Morgan quitting all football, and Megan Rapinoe as well. And with the Euros coming up in Switzerland in June, there's a window there for a new women's football star. And I wouldn't bet against Lara Freigang being that new star. Martinez would love to be there. Sniffing around the outside of the Germany squad. We'll see tomorrow if she has a surprise inclusion. 111 appearances for Frankfurt. Shakira Martinez over 8 years. 24 goals. It's time to move on in July to West Ham United in England. She moved straight back on loan to Freiburg as part of the deal. She'll feel she'll get more minutes at Frankfurt. Frankfurt couldn't quite control that. Very fluid, this front three of Frankfurt. Reutel has now gone to the right when she was very much on the touchline early on. And now just mixing it up. Got to do at this level. Trouble that back line constantly. Martinez trying to make something of that against her former teammates. And she does well. Shashin couldn't quite find her way through a bottleneck. A lot of Austrians and Swiss on both teams tonight. It's very alpine weather, let's say, minus the snow. Decent bit of control there. Zikai. And she's won aside a corner. And Koro Zikai, a star player for Freiburg so far this season. We'll be looking to break the deadlock here. Fabian will whip it in. With pushing and shoving. Referee's just having a word. It's a decent corner. Ojukwu was coming around the back there. Looked like a rehearsed move, but Frankfurt had it covered. She came very deep there, and it was actually a crucial punch from Johannes. If she'd not got there, then Ojukwu might have come around the back. Ojukwu, another one of those Austrians. Not been capped yet by Austria, but only 18. And Freiburg, after that let off with Freigang hitting the bar, are coming a bit more into the game here. $18 minutes gone, it's still 0-0. Frankfurt having the best chance with Lara Freigang hitting the bar. Again, that final ball not quite there for the hosts. Freiburg sitting in sixth at the moment, just 3 points behind third place Frankfurt. Can all change after tonight. Oh, and the ball almost snuck through there. Carl's been quite impressive, overlapping on that left-hand side, and should easily have been in there for Freiburg. And that's a good ball. Freigang again, just finding that pocket of space where there are no defenders, and she cuts inside here, and oh, it's a superb run. She finds Anyomi, but sent her a little bit wide, and Reuteler just isn't tall enough to get that. You wonder if Freigang could have had a go at herself there. That's a terrible pass, and now a chance again. The final ball, Sense not finding Anyomi. Frankfurt come again. Lovely interchange of passing. And there's an effort. It's a good save. Reuteler cutting inside, and it was reasonably easy for Borgrefe. A good movement again. And that was actually going in the corner. It was a better save than it first looked from Raffaella Borgrefe. Is she in with the shout of the Germany squad? Definitely impressed me so far this season. And it may be 0-0 after 20 minutes, but don't worry. This pair have met 8 times, and we've always had a winner. These two go out for the 3 points. Six wins for Frankfurt, 2 for Freiburg so far. We tend to have goals as well. 29 goals scored by Frankfurt in those 8 meetings. 11 for Freiburg. And in the last time they met at the end of last season, it was Frankfurt 4, Freiburg 2. In fact, in the last 4 meetings, Frankfurt have always scored 4 goals. But this Freiburg side looks a bit more competitive than in previous years. Frankfurt taking their time here, trying to create an opening. So far, just giving it to Laura Freigang. The ball did go out of play. Barbara Dunt's not happy, but assistant referee spotted it. And the assistant referee was bang on correct. Keeps coming back here though, and Freiburg are not helping themselves at the moment after having come a little bit back into the game. And Freigang again bringing down the ball and bringing teammates into the game. She really does have a swagger about her that few other women footballers do, especially in Germany. And with such a towering figure of Pop retiring. This is a great chance now for Nyomi. Oh! Well, the assist came from Freiburg. And she's one-on-one with the keeper, and she has to score. Especially in the form she's in. She helped create it herself. Lovely turn. Lays it off. Gets the ball back inadvertently. And she has to go there for the right-hand corner, you think. Especially in such good goal-scoring form. That is straight at Borgrefe. And Frankfurt could be 2-0 up if it had gone their way. Two best players missing chances. Here's Freigang again. Clever little pass. Freigang shooting the goal. Oh, another good save. And Yomi and headed over for a corner. But at the moment, Raffaella Borgrefe is keeping her Freiburg team in this game. It was a bit awkward for Freigang. It kind of got stuck in the turf a little bit. She cut inside there and then just not quite perfect for her, but Borggriffer was there. And that's a sign of a good goalkeeper to spot the danger and be on top of it straight away. And that's the player of the match so far, Rafaela Borggriffer. A decent header, but it's over the top, and Frankfurt really pushing here. Lovely work by Naomi again. Freigang, little ball, Reuteler. The three of them have just combined superbly so far this game, and indeed all season. And it just catches the heel actually there, doesn't it, of Reuteler. But again, Frankfurt are coming, and Freiburg just can't get out of their own penalty area, let alone their own half. And those Frankfurt fans must be thinking it's only a matter of time. This will be swung in left-footed by Lursen. This could make it trickier for Borggriffer. But she claims it. And she tries to get her team immediately up the field. So her teammate's not as keen. But they need to give their goalkeeper a bit of respite here. And a slightly aimless ball hasn't worked out. The referee spotted that late tackle there, but it's play on. Freigang again in clear space. Might get it back here. Clever. Back to Volter, and Freiburg kept their shape there. Push Freiburg back a little bit. Frankfurt back, apologies. And we have a little injury stoppage there. Just winded, I think. Fabian. So we'll see what happened here. Was it the head or was it the chest? Hard to see, but looks like she'll be fine. A nice round of applause from this Frankfurt crowd. Turned out on a rather wet Monday night. There's a certain other football game happening in Germany tonight. The men's national team are playing the Netherlands in a Nations League game, but don't worry, kickoffs have been organised perfectly. If you're watching us here, then there's enough time to down an Oktoberfest beer before the men's game starts later. That's in Munich, where the weather is pretty similar to Frankfurt. Martinez is doing well getting to the ball, but when she flicks it on, there's no one to flick it on to. And that might be something that Freiburg have to think about at half-time. Now I've got Campbell, who is generally more attacking than Stegemann, and might reduce that gap between Martinez and the midfield. But at the moment, Freiburg will just be happy that it's 0-0. It's a mistake, though, and Martinez can pounce. But yet again, it doesn't work out. And look at Duerson here, striding forward. But again, the ball is lost. And there's some information there from the coach. Straight away going to Zikai and saying, hey, we need to change this here. Nico Schneck not messing around. He gave her detailed instructions there, which she is now passing on. And now Tissie's opposite number, another Nico, but he's Nico with a K. He is of Greek heritage, while Nico with a C is the German way of spelling it. Freiburg not helping themselves here, not keeping the ball for long enough. Freigang almost giving the ball back there. Karl on this left-hand side has been the best outlet really for Freiburg. They've got to try and get it out to her and then see if she can whip it in for Martinez. The Frankfurt defence know all about Martinez from her 8 years here. Well, they've faced her in training enough. They'll know what a handful she can be, especially in the air. But for her to trouble Johannes, they need to get the ball up to her inside the penalty area. And that's not really looked likely so far. One corner for Freiburg, which was slightly dangerous. Otherwise, it's been all Frankfurt. Greve always seems to have time on the ball. Freigang dropping very deep there, looking for the ball, but instead it's going in towards Reuteler, but that was a bit hopeful. Barbara Dunst, Austria international. She'll wish now she passed it back to Freigang. Freiburg trying to build from the back rather than lose it in midfield with a punt upfield, and they've won themselves a free kick instead. What's for dinner, Mum? Now then, bit of space for Fabian, but again she's lost it. And that tells you everything. 10 shots so far from Frankfurt, 3 on target, 61% possession. Winning the tackles as well. So on every metric, Frankfurt well ahead, apart from the one that matters. It's still 0-0. Been a feature of the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga of late, though, that it has been cagey early on in games, and then as players get tireder, the better players pounce. In their last win against Essen, the 3-1 win, Frankfurt were actually 1-0 down until the hour mark, and they only sealed the win late on, so things are getting closer in the Women's Bundesliga, there's no doubt. And they might have to be patient again here. Outside the boot. Trying to find Martinez. Shushing again, the Austrian. Good play. Come inside here. Zikai. And she's lost it again. She's not showing the form she's shown of late, Zikai, so far. And that might be a costly mistake, because Reuteler has let Freigang free. And there we have the opening goal! Fantastic finish! Great ball through as well from Reuteler. And 10 minutes before the break, Frankfurt have a deserved breakthrough. And who else but Laura Freigang? Again, she's just too free there. Stuyvert has to get closer to one of the best players in the league, and she can just pick a spot. And as well as Borggräfer has played so far, she isn't going to stop that. One touch, inside, top corner, 1-0. The pass from Reuteler made it though, but again it was Freiburg giving the ball away that gave Reuteler the chance to pick out her teammate, and Freigang did the rest. Her 6th goal of the season. She is now clear at the top of the scoring charts in the women's Frauen Bundesliga. And the form she's in, you have to think that Freigang will start Germany's friendly against England at Wembley on the 25th. Christian Fuchs' first game in charge. Obviously, Horst Rubisch was in charge for the Olympics, where Germany finished 3rd. Bronze medal in Paris. Christian Fuchs takes over, and he's got a player in bang form in Laura Freigang. Of course, it'll be an emotional game for Germany, going back to Wembley, the site of their defeat to the hosts in the Euro 2021 final. But they're building for Euro 2025 in Switzerland. And with a lot of these Frankfurt players in that squad, they'll be standing in good stead. That's Gruber, who isn't actually anywhere near the squad, according to those in the know, but I've always been very impressed with Luciana Greve. She's only 21, no caps yet, but I think they'll come. Greve very much reminds me of Georgia Stanway of Bayern Munich in England. But here's Sens, who is a Germany international. And there's Freigang completely free again. And the Freiburg defence are leaving the best player in the league, arguably, completely on her own whenever the ball comes near. And it's pretty dark and wild out there, but Freiburg are not helping themselves. Nico Schneck will surely have a word with his defenders at half-time. The number of times Freigang has had acres of space. And although she scored 1, she could really have had 3 or 4. Dorsen penalised there. Zikai wins the foul. That's what Freiburg need to do. They need to take the sting out of the game a bit and get themselves up closer towards the opposition goal. And they've won another free kick. Set pieces could be their way back into this. Sens is penalised. And Frankfurt suddenly have to be a little careful here as the half wears on. Vobian will take the free kick. Got good delivery from set pieces. Defenders are up from the back. And the offside flag is up. Looked offside even as she put the ball into the box. Martinez being outfoxed by her former teammates. Freigang being more tightly marked, finally. And this has got through to the Freiburg back line there. But again, the attack falls flat. It was a damp evening. Frankfurt Stadium is actually next door to the biggest outdoor pool in Germany. Will the hosts sink or swim tonight? Well, at the moment they're swimming, and they'll be swimming to the top of the Bundesliga. Five minutes to go until half-time. Frankfurt 1, Freiburg 0. The final game of match day 6 of the Women's Bundesliga. And if it stays like this, Eintracht Frankfurt are going to the top of the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga. And no, Bayern don't have a game in hand. Wolfsburg don't have a game in hand. Frankfurt will legitimately be top of the pile after 6 matches. It's a long, long time since that was the case in the German Women's Bundesliga. A 3-horse race looked very much likely, although Lewison couldn't keep that in. She's the only change to the lineup today. She impressed coming on at half-time against Essen. 3-1 win last time out, and kept her place. And she's impressed so far in the pouring rain here in Germany's financial capital. And Yomi couldn't quite get through a Freiburg sandwich there. Sense. Whiteler. Frankfurt front three have been superb with their movement so far today. Interchanging constantly. Whiteler left, right, centre, Fragang everywhere. Greve has a crack, but it's straight at the goalkeeper. Die-hard fans on a Monday night in the pouring rain. You want to see your side go top of the table. Will make the surface a bit slicker. It might also cause some problems for the goalkeepers. Although so far, well, Gräfer, especially of Freiburg, has looked very assured. Here's Johannes for Frankfurt. Calmly done. Both sides are through to the last 16 of the German Cup as well. The DFB Pokal. Freiburg face mighty Bayern next month. And Frankfurt travelling to Union Berlin. Last round, Frankfurt thumped Erfurt 10-0 to reach that last 16. And Lara Freigang netted a hat-trick in that game. She's a third of the way there tonight. And she could easily have had a hat-trick tonight. She hit the bar early on. Missed with a very, very good header where she was perfectly positioned, but didn't quite get enough purchase on it. But then her goal was just pure class, as we've come to expect from Frankfurt's number 10. And who knows? Maybe Germany's number 10 at the end of this month. It'll be an emotional couple of games, obviously, for the Germany women's team, not just because of the new coach, Christian Vuk, but mainly because of the international retirements of Hegering, Pop, and Mellefroms, all being waved goodbye in the game against Australia in Duisburg on the 28th. 3 days before that, it's the biggie against European champions England at Wembley. And if Freiburg lights up Wembley like she has the Frauen Bundesliga so far this season, some big sides in England will be eyeing her up, there's no doubt about that. She's drain sweat through, but she doesn't care. She scored a perfect opener. Magical pass by Reuteler. And you just know when Laura Freigang gets in that position, she's going to score. The rain has maybe eased ever so slightly, but there'll be a change of jerseys at half-time, certainly. It really is pouring down there. It's a decent ball in. And it almost fell there for Barbara Dunst. And that is half-time. Frankfurt completely on top, even in the pouring rain. They lead 1-0, and with that score, they would be going to the top of the Frauen Bundesliga tonight. A wonderful goal by Laura Freigang on 35 minutes. It could easily have been 2, 3, 4, or even 5-0 to the hosts. So half-time here in Frankfurt. It's Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Freiburg 0. And Naomi also had a couple of chances. And the way the front three operated there was a sight for sore eyes. Those Frankfurt fans would have greatly enjoyed Reuteler and Freigang and Jan Naomi's interchange. They were basically running rings round the Freiburg defence there. But they've only got one goal to show for it. And those Freiburg girls will be hoping to try and get back into it in the second half, especially Martinez there, the former Frankfurt player. But on a rainy night, it could be a very special night for Frankfurt. If they keep this up, they are top of the Women's Bundesliga. I'll be back for the second half. Welcome back to the second half of this Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga clash between Eintracht Frankfurt and Freiburg. Frankfurt lead 1-0 at the break thanks to that player there, Lara Freigang, with a wonderful goal on 35 minutes. It's been all Frankfurt, frankly, and it will be interesting to see if Freiburg make any changes at the start of this second half. Wave after wave of Frankfurt pressure, and they really want this win, because 3 points here would send them top of the German Women's Bundesliga tonight. Weather's not been wonderful, but a few of the fans enjoying a Monday night beer, and will enjoy it even more if their team go top of the table at the end of this match day 6. Bayern have lost already. They lost to Wolfsburg on Saturday, but Wolfsburg have already lost. They lost to who else but Frankfurt. Frankfurt are unbeaten, and 3 points tonight. They are clear at the top of the Frauen Bundesliga. We've not had a story like that in women's German football for a long time. Bayern and Wolfsburg have dominated ever since 2012. But the former powerhouses, Frankfurt, might now be right back up there. Third last season under that man there, Nico Nautis. And they've got big hopes of going much, much better than that. Of course, they were knocked out of the Champions League in the qualifying round. A very complicated qualifying round this year for the UEFA Champions League. And they were beaten by Sporting. Despite then beating Minsk by a big score, it wasn't enough. But at least then Frankfurt can now concentrate on trying to wrestle that Bundesliga title away from the big duo. Just looking as Freiburg enter the pitch here, if there have been any changes. You'd think Ojukwu might be someone who would come off. But no, it appears not. And we start the second half with Freiburg kicking left to right. And need of some spark somewhere to get back into this. Shakira Martinez up front for Freiburg, former Frankfurt player. Was having no hope at all in trying to hold that ball up and get other players into the game. You wonder whether the Austrian Eileen Campbell might be an option off the bench. And hang on. Was she the last player there? And the referee has decided to send her off. And Yomi got on the wrong side of her. And she's a long way from goal. And she's trying to say that there's a player covering. But Stierli is off. Reuteler again with the ball through. And you have to say Anyomi, with her strength and pace, might have been away if Stierli hadn't have done that. And Yomi's still a long way from goal, but the Swiss international defender is off. And just the worst start Freiburg could have imagined in this second half. Again, it was giving the ball away. Quick break, Reuteler again. And well, there'll have to be a reshuffle now. I don't think we'll see Eileen Campbell now. More attack-minded player. It could get worse if Frankfurt can profit from this free kick. Lifted in. Oh, and Bogdiffer got a bit of it, but not much. Dunst. Trying to be clever, but the ball didn't quite come off. But what a dramatic start to this second half. It was Dunst's free kick, and Bogdiffer got there. She didn't get a brilliant punch on it, but enough to get it beyond Anyomi. But it was Anyomi who won the free kick And in doing so, Julia Stierli was sent off for the visitors, the centre-back. It was cynical, but she was a long way from goal and thought she might get away with it with players covering. But an experienced referee, Karolina Vaca, said no. That's a professional foul and a straight red. And there is movement now on that Freiburg bench as Nico Schneck tries to work out what to do. I don't know if they're looking at a replay of the red card, but there's nothing he can do now. He has to shore up that defence while he can and see if they can nick something going forward. And that's put a spring into the step of Frankfurt, even in this miserable weather. Cleaver. Freigang. Oh, lovely ball with the outside of the boot. And space here for a good cross. And that's the first time I think Lursen has wasted a ball on the left. Go again. The firepower in this Frankfurt side is scary, really. You've got Freigang already with 6 goals this season in the Bundesliga. Reuteler with 3 and Young with 4. And it is Reuteler trying to turn creator again. And that's a great ball across the back. And that could easily have been turned in by Barbara Dunst. After a great first half from Borgley for the Freiburg keeper, she's had 2 nervy moments. She misses a punch here. And if it maybe just been that little bit less wet, might not have skipped up the turf quite as it did. And Barbara Dunst couldn't quite reach for it, but that was very nearly 2-0 for Frankfurt. And it was Geraldine Reuteler as well again. She's been the assist extraordinaire today for Frankfurt, setting up Freigang for the opener and very nearly setting up Dunst there. And Freiburg just can't cope with Frankfurt's front three, changing positions constantly. Reuteler's on the right, she's on the left, and Yomi's spinning in, spinning out. Freigang's dropping deep. It's a superb display for the front three of Frankfurt. No changes from Freiburg yet. Obviously a tactical switch just to shore up that hole left by Shirley's red card. Stegemann trying to create something, and she wins a foul. Stegemann was a slightly surprise inclusion in the side instead of Campbell. And the more you see it, the more you think it was cynical from Stierli. But was there a player covering? It was quite away from goal, but then again, Yomi is no slouch. Of course, Freiburg know all about appealing to the German FA. They've got their Leverkusen game probably being replayed. Whether they will appeal that red card, we'll have to see. No video assistant referee, of course, in the Women's Bundesliga. The German FA says they want to implement it at some stage, but it's just not possible at the moment. And Dunst finding Reuteler, ultimately. That's another good cross, and there's Freigang, and that's 2-0! And it's the same combination yet again. Geraldine Reuteler with the perfect cross, and Laura Freigang couldn't miss. And this is really impressive stuff from the hosts. who are powering towards the top of the German Women's Bundesliga tonight. 7 for the season for Freigang. And it's just the perfect cross. Leutler looks up, knows where she'll be, attacks the ball. Too easy, really. And Karl was exposed, just as Freiburg's defence have been all night. Just not getting close enough to one of the best players in the league. And that's what happens. And it's even worse if you're down to just 10 players. And what a start to the season she's had. 7 goals, now well clear at the top of the scoring charts, and will certainly be named in the Germany squad on Tuesday. And she might even have another hat-trick here. And Yomi tried to play it into her. Again, just chaos in the Freiburg back line. And they've got away with it this time, but they didn't minutes ago. One of the form players in Europe and indeed world football. And with Alexandra Popp having retired from Germany internationals, she'll play one more game in Duisburg against Australia to say goodbye. But in Germany's game against England, friendly, Wembley, on the 25th, you have to think Freigang will lead the line, or at least be in the hole for Germany. She's always promised much, sometimes flattered to deceive over the years, but now she really is in top form. And could she be the woman to fire Frankfurt to a shot Bundesliga title? Freiburg have a little bit of help there, push themselves up the field. The bench is still wondering what to do, whether to bring in another player to fill in for Stierli's absence. At the moment they're taking a bit of a risk, because Stegeman's well up the field there. That's a wing back rather than a flat back four. And Nautis applauds Frankfurt's pressing there. Borggriff had an excellent first half. She couldn't do anything about Freigang's opening goal, a superb finish. But she's looked nervy in the second half with the rain continuing to fall. And here is Freigang, hoping to repay the favour to another player, and looks to be an injury there to Borggriff. Don't know whether Sense caught her as she tried to clip that ball over it. Freigang, lovely pass. It's Sense that runs in, and oh, it's a stretch. It's a stretch rather than an impact injury, and that could be nasty for Raffaele Borggriff. Stud's kind of caught in the ground a bit, and then she's banged her knee, and we hope, for her sake and Freiburg's sake and the Bundesliga's sake, that it's nothing serious. It appears there to be a hip problem, which might be better than a knee problem. I mean, she almost did the splits there as she came out to smother the ball. And there are the changes that we're going to see from Freiburg. We're going to see Schneider. And it looks like Borggriff is fit to continue. We're going to see Karich and we're going to see Schneider. And Annie Karich, of course, USA midfielder, only 20, California. And Mai Schneider, only 17. German. And it's Shashin coming off, the Austrian international, who didn't really do enough in midfield. And Juku is also off. And she was very, very anonymous in that first half, the Austrian. And so this is an attempt to bolster that midfield for Freiburg. And maybe try and get a player a bit closer up to Martinez to try and get back into this game somehow. Because Zikai and Vobian are being dragged wide. And then there's a huge gap between the midfield and Martinez visitors. But it's a massive mountain to climb now for Freiburg, especially as they were down to 10 players. Julia Stierli sent off for a professional foul on Nicole Adiomi just before Frankfurt made it 2-0. You couldn't think of a worse start to a half. If your centre-back sent off with basically the first kick of the second half, and then by the 53-minute mark, Lara Freigang had her second of the game. And Geraldine Reuteler had her second excellent assist of the game. And now there's a chance to make it 3 as the corner comes in. Nicola Nyomi will want to join the party, given that Reuteler and Freigang have done all the damage so far. That's a good ball. It's going to fall for Grever. And it's tipped over. A good effort by Grever. And Borg Grever, who'd had the injury just a few minutes ago, was tested. She didn't look entirely comfortable, although it was straight at her. He could have done better there, Grever. And the pressure just keeps on coming. Laura Freigang with her nails matching her captain's armband. Rainbow armband. And it nearly fell for Freigang again there. She'll keep it in. No, she's decided to have another set piece. And wisely decides to go, well, looked like she was going to go back into the box. Looking for a hat-trick. It's not best to be at the corner flag. Indeed, she does leave it to the left foot of Lersen. Pressed, left back, Nina Lersen. That's a good corner, and that could easily have been a third. It might still be, but Barbara Dunst blasts over. And as I say, the last 4 times that these sides have met, Frankfurt scored 4 goals. You wouldn't put it past them today, and that was nearly it. And you have to say that Borg Grever looks a little shaken after that injury earlier in the half. She manages to kick clear. She had an excellent first half, to be fair to her. But an hour gone, and Frankfurt completely on top here. They lead by 2-0. 2 goals from Lara Freigang. Freiburg down to 10 players, and Frankfurt heading to the top of the Women's Bundesliga. And the stats tell their own story. 16 shots from Frankfurt, 0 from Freiburg. And that was before they went down to 10 men. %67 possession at the moment for the hosts. Set pieces might be away for Freiburg, and there's Martinez, former Frankfurt squad player. Robbed of the ball too easily though, and Frankfurt can break. Lever comes out to Lersen. A lot of space here for Reuteler. And it might drop for Anyomi, but Burgleif had just got there, having initially made a good stop on the cross. And Reuteler again, so much space. Doesn't quite pick the right ball this time. She did do the previous 2 times. And we've been so tight at the top. If Frankfurt do rise to number 1 in the Bundesliga tonight, they'll be topped by a point, but goal difference always matters. They want to score as many as they can. Can become crucial in this league. Only 22 games, of course, and 6 games in already. And was that a shot or a cross? We will give her the benefit of the doubt that that was a shot. And it looks like we're going to get 2 Frankfurt changes as well. We're going to see Prasnikar. And we're going to see Vamsa. It is foul weather. There is a risk of slipping and injury, so that might be coming into Arnautis' thinking. Especially with that Germany squad being named tomorrow. Last thing any of these hopefuls want is an injury. Nearly went through to Freigang there, it was offside. Frankfurt are actually at home again next Saturday against Bremen. So a reasonably quick turnaround, but both games are at home. While Freiburg welcome Leipzig. Another tough test. Reuteler again. Freigang gone slightly wide and it's dealt with, but that could easily have been 3, and it was the deadly duo again. Axman having to deal with it. It looks like Frankfurt are not going to make the change yet. Good adage, never make a substitution at a corner. And Lursen will swing it in again with her left foot. Caused big problems last time. It's headed back, and Freiburg can't get rid of it. Again, Burgleif had half a punch. Clever. That's a foul there on Reuteler, and that's an interesting distance from the goal. Schneider has just come on with the foul. And there is the change for Frankfurt. Prasnikar and Vamsa. And it's Sens who's been given a little bit of a breather. She will hope to win that Germany squad tomorrow. And Anyomi surprisingly coming off. But she's played well. And Prasnikar will look to increase this lead. And has an immediate chance with a free kick. She spins round. Oh, miscontrol there. Very nearly a third. Just bobbled in front of her just as she came on. Very first touch. You'd think if she'd been on the field a bit longer, she would have been more in the game and might have finished that first time. It's Vamsa, sorry. Another corner for the hosts. Pressure really building here. And this time they keep it as well. So, 67 minutes gone. It's 2-0 to Eintracht Frankfurt. Freiburg down to 10. There's only going to be one winner unless club from the southwest of Germany can do something absolutely remarkable here. I mentioned goal difference a moment ago. As it stands, Frankfurt would be top of the table by a point from champions Bayern, and they would have 2-goal better goal difference. Wolfsburg, by the way, would be 4th after 6 games. Freiburg would stay 6th. But if Frankfurt can put another couple away, as they often do against Freiburg, will only boost their chances later on in the season to already have a better goal difference than Bayern is pretty impressive. And they are, of course, unbeaten, unlike the champions and unlike perennial champions Wolfsburg. Final ball just missing there. Lara Freigang with both goals, 35 minutes, absolute pitch, and 53 minutes after an excellent cross by Geraldine Reuteler, the Swiss. And Freiburg down to 10 players after Stierli was sent off very early in the second half for a professional foul on Yomi. Clever. Kleinherner, an outside bet for that Germany squad tomorrow. And that's good play. And here's Dunst. Might want a crack. Didn't quite get hold of it. She's threatened a bit tonight, Barbara Dunst, but hasn't quite made it happen. And Freiburg throwing a bit of caution to the wind here. Martinez is coming off at a very ineffectual game against her former club, and Eileen Campbell, the Austrian, does come on to lead the line. Shakira Martinez really struggling to make any impact. And Fabian has come off for Gudov, Ali Gudov, who is definitely more defensive-minded, so kind of half and half from Freiburg there. Sticking on Campbell to see if she can do something to get them back in the game, but also a bit of damage limitation of Gudov. And Campbell into the game early there, snapping at Glover's heels. Campbell did start the last game and was maybe surprised to be left out, but obvious feeling that they had to be a little bit more compact. Didn't quite work out though, so Campbell's on. 24. 4 goals in 17 Bundesliga games for the Austrian, who actually has Northern Irish heritage as well. And that will be a goal kick. Hamza not managing to control that one. Those fans enjoying themselves. They know what this win would mean. Obviously, other teams have been top of the Bundesliga in recent years, but normally it's been because Bayern or Wolfsburg haven't played yet or had a game in hand. This would be a real statement from Eintracht Frankfurt to top the league on their own merit after 6 games of a 22-game season, and to be in such good form and to be unbeaten. 3-0 win against Wolfsburg. 2 meetings ago really set this up, and they're looking for a third here, but Freiburg have no chance there. And having beaten Wolfsburg, you think if Frankfurt could do the dirty on Bayern as well, then they would really, really have a chance of winning the Bundesliga title. And as a club, Frankfurt's first title since way back. And there might be a chance here, and that's well saved by Bogrefer. Krasnikar, again, given too much space. Defender on the wrong side, and she tried to go back across goal when it might even have been easier at the near post. Frankfurt want another here. They want to go top with a bang. Cleaver! Or blocked. That's a decent ball, and Freigang deals with it. Such an elegant player. She's got a bit of Alexander Popp about her, but also very skillful on the deck. That's a good ball in. Mistake. Chance here. And there it is! Barbara Dunst makes it 3-0. She finally gets the chance. She's had several efforts, haven't quite worked out. But she puts it into the corner of the net after another Freiburg mistake in defence. And this is becoming easy street for the hosts, who are heading to the top of the German Women's Bundesliga. Again, it's a cross from out wide. Again, it's Reuteler. Quite incredible. She's basically set up all 3 goals. And a bit of a mess from the Freiburg defence. And Dunst can take her time and hook it into the corner. And whether Bogrefer will be disappointed, we'll have to see. It was low to her left, hard to keep out. And that's her first goal of the season. She's not in the team to score goals, but she likes to grab them while she can. And she certainly had a few chances tonight and finally buried one. But Geraldine Reuteler has set up all 3 goals with perfect passes or crosses. It's been a masterclass from the Swiss. Been at Frankfurt since 2020. Very much part of the furniture. Still only 25, even though she seems to have been around for ages in the European game. Started off at Lucerne, of course, back in her homeland, and then moved to Frankfurt under its previous guise as FFC before they became Eintracht Frankfurt in 2020. The decision to merge with the men's team, Eintracht Frankfurt, was controversial at the time, but is it beginning to pay dividends? And Freigang's done for the night. She won't get a hat-trick, but just see this first goal. Just perfect. And then the cross from Reuteler. Perfect header, perfect timing on the run. And that's 7 goals for Freigang. She's the top scorer in the German Women's Bundesliga. And she leaves the pitch with her side going top of the table. And she's replaced by Chiba, who will always keep herself busy. The Japanese international.
liebe Gäste, es folgt die offizielle Zuschauerzahl. Wir bedanken uns bei 2704 Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauern im Stadion am Brentanower. Schön, dass ihr alle da seid.
It looked like they were going to make another change there, but they're holding off for now. And they're going for a fourth. Common scoreline against Freiburg for Frankfurt. And it will help that goal difference at the top, the very top of the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga. And that was the other change. Nadine Riesen came on for Pia-Sophie Wolter. She did start at left back last week, but was dropped for Lursen. But now she gets a chance. On the other flank. Riesen, another Swiss. But the best Swiss on the pitch tonight has been Geraldine Reuteler. Sometimes criticised Reuteler for not getting enough goals, but when she assists that she has tonight, all 3 goals. And just look at that. 22 shots from Frankfurt, 9 on target. Nothing from Freiburg at all. And that's from a Freiburg side that had been doing well. Just shows you the power that Frankfurt have as a side. And this was seen as a tricky home clash for them on a Monday night. Of course, they've been helped by the visitors being reduced to 10 right after half-time. But even so, it's been an impressive showing. And Freiburg got nothing to lose, really. Make another change while they can. And Blumenberg is coming on, I think. And Stegemann, who hasn't really imposed herself like she was meant to. And it's damage limitation for the sport club, really. As the Eagles soar to the top of the German top flight. I wonder what they'll be thinking in Munich tonight and in Wolfsburg. They're not used to this. They're used to having competition from each other. But for so long, it's just been those two. With Frankfurt being the third, but not quite being in touch with them. Well, they're more than in touch at the moment. They're going to be above them. And Reuteler really deserves a goal, doesn't she? That was just a little bit beyond her. Nice bit of play. Good run. That was a tricky one on her left. But if anyone deserves a goal tonight, it's Geraldine Reuteler. Freiburg looking for something to go home with. Might even got a corner from that. Zakai, who's been quiet. She's been playing so well in recent weeks. Really made a name for herself, especially with the Germany under 20 side. The World Cup that was held in Colombia in the summer. And now she's going to take the corner. But she's just really struggled to get into this game. Frankfurt have just been too strong. Simple as that. 8 minutes left. Can the visitors claw something back? Arlene Campbell trying to make herself felt. In front of Chiba there. And it might come through, and oh, the shot's wide. I can't really count that as a shot on target, but it is a shot from Blumenberg, who's just come on. Kind of well worked. Oh, and she's asking for a penalty there. Now then, Stojoval is wondering if she was pushed in the back there. And you have to say, on another day, that might have been given, as Frankfurt make another change. Ealing has been given a chance. And the excellent Lewis gives way. And of course, we don't have a video assistant referee in the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga here in Germany. If there was one, they would certainly have looked at that incident there. So, corner came in. Stojoval felt she was pushed to the ground. And then the chance fired wide by Blumenberg. But it's a little too late from Freiburg. That shows you the next 5 games that Frankfurt have. Bremen at home, and then the diggy away to Bayern. If they could pick something up at the FC Bayern campus, that really would send shockwaves through German women's football. And those are the next 5 games for Freiburg. They have Bayern at home and Wolfsburg away, so that's a tricky one. They're really going to need to get back on track against Leipzig next weekend. Of course, we have the respite, if that's the right word for Freiburg, of the international break coming up after next weekend's matches. Germany playing England at Wembley in a friendly, and then Australia and Duisburg in a friendly. A goodbye game for Alexander Popp and Mörder Forms and Marine Heggering. And a lot of these Frankfurt players will be involved in that. And here, surely this is a chance for Reuteler now to finish it off, and it's a save. She looked a little tired as she ran onto that, but she really did deserve a goal, and it's a good save again by Burggrafer from the header. She comes out of this game with credit, even if her team are 3-0 down, but Reuteler again finding space, and she just couldn't get the shot away. Didn't place it where she wanted, really. But she really does deserve a goal after 3 inch-perfect assists. Maybe now! Oh, again, Burggrafer does well, actually, to come out and deal with it. Don't think that was Reuteler, actually. No, it was Chiba. She's been in the wars a bit tonight with an injury. Had an excellent first half and could do nothing about Freigang's opener. Absolutely nothing. No goalkeeper on the planet could have. Four minutes to go. 4 minutes until Frankfurt go top of the Bundesliga after 6 games. A decent crowd in tonight in Frankfurt. Stadion and Bretanoblad. There is a big men's game happening after this clash. The German men taking on the Netherlands, but don't worry, there's no overlap. Plenty of time between the 2 games if you want to watch that one as well. If Germany's men play half as well as Frankfurt have tonight, they'll be impressive. Bit of space finally for Campbell to run into for Freiburg. What can they do here? But the pass just forces their teammate too wide, and that's been the problem all night, really. Just Sikai just not being able to get in the game, and Greifer will deal with it. But that was a perfect opportunity for Freiburg to get one on the board. But the last pass, badly lacking. Now Reuteler keeps on going. She's being kept in this game to try and get a goal for herself, but she's been the assist extraordinaire from Switzerland. All 3 assists. And that's a good swinging effort. And that very nearly made it 4. Barbara Dunst had one. Thought, well, I'll have a crack and try a second. And that might have took a deflection, did it? And it was arrowing towards the corner. And Borg Greifer was very worried about that. Look at the dip. But it's just wide. And it was given as a corner. Little deflection there. And it'll be Dunst herself who takes the corner. With Lursen having gone off. And this could be one of the last chances for Geraldine Reuteler to get a deserved goal and make it 4-0. Pushing and shoving, there's Chiba, there it is! 4-0 to Frankfurt, the substitute bangs it home. A lot left to be decided again in the Freiburg defence. But those fans don't care. Frankfurt are top of the Bundesliga and have done it in style. Bit of pushing and shoving there, but it fell nicely to Chiba, and she wasn't going to miss that. If anything, it might have been a foul on a Frankfurt player. And the Japanese make sure she buries it. And that's her second goal of this season. And all is well in Frankfurt, especially in the forwards department. Freigang with 2, Chiba with 1, Reuteler with 3 assists. Nicole Agnomi played very well before she was subbed off. And this will be the 5th league meeting between the sides in a row where Frankfurt have scored 4 goals. They normally concede 1 or 2 against their rivals here, but not tonight. Remember, only 1-0 at half-time, and then a red card for Stierli just after the break has really cost Freiburg tonight. Three minutes of stoppage time. We're almost there. Look away, Bayern fans. Look away, Wolfsburg fans. A resurgent Frankfurt are on top of you. And there's a 5th. Chiba getting the 5th. And they've gone one better than they usually do against this Freiburg side. What a substitution. And this is doing wonders for their goal difference. Dunst with the ball wide. Not great defending again. And Chiba does the rest with the outside of a boot. Whether we can give Reuteler that assist, maybe we should, given how well she's played. And outside of the boot, 5-0, no messing. Third goal of the season for Chiba. 2 braces, 1 for Chiba the substitute, and 1 brace for Lara Freigang. Could they get more here? I mean, Freiburg, an absolute rabble late on in this game with only 10 players. Acres of space, and there it is! 6! Chiba, what a hat-trick! Well, we thought this game would be all about Lara Freigang and her great 2 goals. And Chiba comes on and scores a hat-trick in 3.5 minutes. Absolutely sensational from the Japanese international. Deep cross, she's completely unmarked. Took a touch, and bang. Least with the cross. And Chiba has just fired it into the top corner. And it's Eintracht Frankfurt 6, Freiburg 0. And the game is over. And Frankfurt, the Eagles, are flying to the top of the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga. We have new leaders here in Germany. It's Eintracht Frankfurt, and they're there on merit. 6 games, unbeaten, a 6-0 thrashing of Freiburg. And don't think that Bayern have got a game in hand or Wolfsburg have a game in hand. They don't. Eintracht Frankfurt are now a point ahead of Bayern at the top. They're legitimately the leaders in Germany at the end of match day 6. And those late goals have really swelled their goal difference. 5 better than Bayern now. In fact, 6 better. This game could have done wonders for their title aspirations. And Freiburg have been absolutely put to the sword. It weren't helped by being reduced to 10 players right after the break. But this has been extremely efficient from Barbara Dunst there and her Eintracht Frankfurt teammates. I'm not sure Freiburg know what's just hit them. And the rest of the league will be looking at this and thinking, whoa, if Frankfurt are as strong as Bayern and Wolfsburg, if not stronger, remember Frankfurt beat Wolfsburg a couple of weekends ago, then is nowhere safe. And Nico Arnautis there must be very, very pleased with his players. Everyone contributed. Even in bad weather, there was no relenting. They went goal after goal after goal. And it's ended up as Eintracht Frankfurt 6, Freiburg 0. And Ramina Chiba of Japan scores a hat-trick in just 3.5 minutes. 28 shots on goal, just 2 from Freiburg, and they came late on in the game. Total domination of the ball, tackles, everything. Frankfurt just ahead in every phase of the game. Lara Freigang starting off with an absolute wonderful goal. And we can see here, this is the foul right at the start of the second half. And it was deemed a professional foul. And Siele of Freiburg had to go. Nicola Nyomi brought to the ground. And because of that, Freiburg never really recovered. And Barbara Dunst here playing the ball across. And then Geraldine Reuteler, who was superb all night, crosses for Freigang to make it 2-0. The goal in the first half was also set up by Reuteler and was a superb finish from the edge of the area. This, a pinpoint header after getting in front of a marker. And then Frankfurt just kept coming. Weaver with a decent effort tips over. Could even have been more than 6. All night, Frankfurt were finding little pockets of space, clever interchanges of play. And Raffaella Borggriffe, the Freiburg goalkeeper, actually did well, and she's conceded 6. That tells you a story. Bad defence there, and Barbara Dunst got a goal that she deserved after a hard-working display for the Austrian. That was 3-0 after 75 minutes, and we thought that was pretty much it. Good control, good finish. And a corner came in late on, and Chiba, the Japanese international who just come on, blasted home in the 90th minute. Dunst's corner. Again, questionable defending. Chiba doing what she had to do. And then staggeringly, in injury time, we get more goals. Ball coming back to Chiba again, outside of the boot. Lovely finish. And Freiburg didn't help themselves, but when you've got quality finishers like Freigang and Chiba, there's not a lot you can do. And they kept on pushing, And again, so much space for Chiba, and she found the top corner in absolute style to wrap up. 6-0 win for Eintracht Frankfurt over SC Freiburg. And that win has done wonders for the Eagles because, as you can see, with Wolfsburg having beaten the leaders and champions Bayern over the weekend, Leverkusen also slipping up with a draw there, and Eintracht Frankfurt wrapping up match day 6 with an absolute battering of Freiburg in the rain. And what all that means, well, look away now if you're a fan of Wolfsburg or Bayern, the champions. Eintracht Frankfurt top the table. The women's Bundesliga, the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga, they top the table on merit by a point. And look at that goal difference, really swelled from tonight's 6-0 win. We have a 3-horse race for this women's Bundesliga title. Thank you for listening. I've been Mark Meadows. What a fantastic game. What a great weekend of women's Frauen Bundesliga yet again. I can't wait for next weekend. Will Frankfurt defend their top spot? We'll see.
Bei mir steht Nico Schneck, Trainer des SC Freiburg. Herr Schneck, ein schwieriges Spiel heute. Woran hat es Ihrer Meinung gelegen, dass es heute nicht gereicht hat?
Ja, zum einen, was wir vorher schon gesagt haben, hat Frankfurt einfach es geschafft, heute ihre Qualität auf den Platz zu bringen. Und der zweite Punkt ist dann schon, wenn du dann fast eine Halbzeit oder quasi eine Halbzeit noch mit einer weniger spielst, dann ist es schwer. Und ich glaube schon, dass am Ende vielleicht auch 1, 2 Tore zu hoch sind. Jeder Schuss war dann am Ende drin. Das ist dann, wenn du dann so einen Lauf kriegst in dem Spiel bei Frankfurt, das muss man auch dann am Ende sich eingestehen. Und ja, ich glaube, das ist so im ersten Moment das, was man erstmal festhalten kann. Im Detail machen wir die Tage, aber ich glaube, ja, das passt.
In den letzten Wochen haben Sie durch Ihre starke Defensive überzeugt. War die Eintracht heute offensiv zu stark oder woran lag es, dass Sie defensiv so viel zugelassen haben? War die rote Karte ein zusätzlicher Faktor? Sie haben es vorhin angesprochen.
Ja, definitiv. Also das ist schon im 10 gegen 10 schwierig. Und mit einer weniger umso mehr. Und dann geht es schon auch irgendwo um Entscheidungsfindung. Da haben wir dann gerade in der zweiten Halbzeit auch einige Entscheidungen getroffen, die nicht so gut waren. Wenn du dann 3-0 hinten liegst mit einer Spielerin weniger, dann musst du vielleicht auch nicht die ganze Zeit noch im Angriffspressing stehen. Aber das sind einfach auch Prozesse, die eine Mannschaft, gerade eine junge Mannschaft, die wir sind, einfach lernen muss. Und deshalb, schlimm sind andere Dinge. Für heute ist es nicht schön, aber es geht vor allem darum, daraus zu lernen und einfach die richtigen Schlüsse zu ziehen. Und dann ja, lieber einmal so und dann kann man sich wieder sammeln, einmal schütteln und weiter geht's.
Darauf aufbauend, wie geht das Team mit der Niederlage um und wie planen Sie den Weg zurück in die Erfolgsspur?
Ja, wie wir damit umgehen, werden wir dann im Laufe der Woche sehen. Für uns geht es darum, natürlich die Mädels weiter zu ermutigen und schauen, dass jetzt nicht auch in den Köpfen alles schlecht ist. Das war für heute definitiv nicht ausreichend. So ehrlich müssen wir zu uns selber sein. Und es geht aber natürlich vor allem darum, den Blick vorwärts nach vorne zu richten, weil am Wochenende kommt dann Leipzig zu uns. Und das ist sicherlich ein anderes Spiel, ohne jetzt Leipzig nahe treten zu wollen. Aber da wissen wir schon, dass das sicherlich etwas anders ist vom Spiel als hier in Frankfurt.
Dann bedanke ich mich und ich wünsche Ihnen eine gute Heimreise.
Dankeschön.
Freiburg Vokal. Es war das erwartete intensive Spiel heute. Was hätten Sie im Rückblick anders machen können, um das Spiel zu gewinnen?
Ja, ist schwierig jetzt so direkt danach zu sagen. Es war einfach viel, was heute nicht gepasst hat und ist ein Tag zu vergessen. Das gibt es auch im Fußball, muss man einfach jetzt auch mal durch.
Darauf aufbauen, wie schwierig ist es nach dieser Niederlage, den Fokus auf die nächsten Spiele zu richten?
Ja, ich denke, heute können wir uns einfach noch drüber aufregen. Wir werden es morgen analysieren und dann wird's auch, müssen wir den Blick aufs nächste Spiel richten.
Was gibt Ihnen und dem Team trotz der Niederlage Zuversicht für die kommenden Spiele?
Ja, ich denke, wir müssen jetzt die Spiele davor einfach auch noch im Kopf behalten, müssen das Spiel ein Stück weit einfach vergessen und uns an den anderen Spielen noch ein Stück hochziehen und dann wieder in die Spur finden.
Dann bedanke ich mich und ich wünsche Ihnen viel Erfolg für den weiteren Saisonverlauf.
Erst anfangen, wenn du es okay kriegst.
Ach so.
Mit jetzt 7 Toren in 6 Spielen spreche ich zu unserer bisherigen Torschützenkönigin Laura Freigang. Laura, was für ein packendes Spiel. 2 Tore von dir und ein souveräner 6:0-Sieg. Wie fühlt es sich an, die Mannschaft mit dieser Leistung und vor allem auch noch als Kapitänin an die Tabellenspitze zu führen?
Ja, das ist schon ein besonderer Tag. Wir waren noch nie Tabellenführer, also mal so über Nacht, aber nie nach dem Spieltag. Und ich glaube, das war heute einfach ein sehr runder Tag. Fußballwetter, Regen, trotzdem volles Stadion, das ist immer was Besonderes. Und dann, glaube ich, auch einfach von vorne bis hinten ein gutes Spiel von uns.
Du hast heute wieder gezeigt, wie wertvoll du für die Offensive bist. Was war für dich der Schlüssel, um in der ersten Halbzeit so früh die Führung zu übernehmen und das Spiel zu kontrollieren? Und was denkst du, hat sich dadurch am Spielverlauf geändert?
Ich glaube, wir haben die Räume einfach gut gefunden. Also sie haben ja mit einer Fünferkette gespielt und ich denke, wir haben gut in die Tiefe gespielt, waren gut zwischen den Ketten. Wir hatten einfach viel Platz. Da hätten sogar noch 1, 2 Tore mehr in der ersten Halbzeit bei rumkommen können. Aber ja, wenn es am Ende ein 6:0 ist, dann beschwert man sich nicht.
Das Spiel hat durch die rote Karte für Freiburg nach dem Foul an Nicole einen besonderen Wendepunkt erlebt. Wie hat sich das auf euer Spiel ausgewirkt und was war eure Strategie, die Überzahl auszunutzen?
Ich glaube, wenn man einer mehr Platz ist, dann hat man immer noch mehr Möglichkeiten mit Ball. Ich glaube, wir waren einfach alle sehr aktiv, haben sehr viel rotiert, viele Tiefenläufe, viele Chancen rausgespielt. Und gegen den Ball hast du einfach die Möglichkeit, viel stärker noch zu pressen. Ich glaube, Freiburg hatte wenig Möglichkeiten heute nach vorne was zu machen. Das haben wir gut gemacht. Und dann natürlich, wenn man hinten raus auch noch gut wechseln kann. Remina kommt rein, macht 3 Tore, das ist natürlich auch ein Luxus.
Der heutige Sieg bringt euch an die Tabellenspitze. Wie motivierend ist es für dich und das Team, jetzt die Führungsposition inne zu haben? Und wie blickst du auf die nächsten Spiele?
Es ist eine schöne Momentaufnahme, das auf jeden Fall, und die genießen wir auch. Aber wir wissen auch noch, dass wir ein paar Spiele vor uns haben. Es ist viel zu früh, um sich darüber so besonders zu freuen. Ich glaube, es ist ein Zeichen für eine gute Leistung bis jetzt die Saison. Ein gutes Spiel gegen Wolfsburg. Wir haben die Bayern noch vor uns. Wir haben jede Menge Spiele auch noch in der Hinrunde. Insofern, wir nehmen es mit. Das pusht uns auf jeden Fall. Aber wie gesagt, nur eine Momentaufnahme.
Vielen Dank, Laura Freigang.
Danke auch.
Nee. Wir haben noch ein DFB-Interview.
Ein Interview, mach doch. Sag doch. Noch. Können wir zusammen machen, wa?
Ja. Musst dich aber kurz fassen, ne?
Nicht so hoch ins Gesicht.
Okay, nicht so ins Gesicht, okay. Letzte Woche als beste Legionärin in Österreich ausgezeichnet und heute mit ihrem Treffer das Spiel endgültig entschieden. Hallo Barbara und herzlichen Glückwunsch zum Sieg und der Tabellenführer. Dein Treffer zum 3:0 hat dem Spiel die endgültige Richtung gegeben. Was ging dir in dem Moment durch den Kopf?
Eigentlich nicht so viel, außer dass ich nur vom Trainer oder von unserem Trainerteam im Kopf habe, Boxbesetzung, 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 und da hat es die letzten Spiele ein bisschen gefehlt und deswegen war es super, dass ich dann in der Box war und dann einfach einmal abgeschlossen habe.
Du bist immer eine wichtige Säule in der Offensive. Wie hast du heute die Räume genutzt, um deine Torgefahr voll auszuspielen, besonders nach der roten Karte für Freiburg?
Ich glaube, ja, dass es sehr wichtig war, dass ich mich zwischen den Linien bewege und einfach auch immer eine offene Stellung habe und mich vororientiere. Ich glaube, das habe ich explizit die letzten Wochen auch trainiert. Ich muss auch sagen, meine Spielerinnen haben mich dann auch super in Szene gesetzt. Also die Lisanne hat ein paar super Bälle gespielt und ja, hat halt Spaß gemacht und ich glaube, wir haben uns alle dann sehr, sehr gut in den Räumen bewegt.
Vielen Dank, liebe Barbara, und herzlichen Glückwunsch.
So, ihr lieben Mäuse. Ah, guck mal, da höre ich mich schon. Marc, wie sieht's aus? Oder Anna, hörst du mich? Könnt ihr aufzeichnen? Ja, können? Perfekt. Tabellenführerin nach dem Spieltag. Wie hört sich das an?
Gut, das gab es, glaube ich, bis jetzt noch nicht. Es ist ein gutes Gefühl. Es ist schön, wenn dann die Tabelle hier auf der Leinwand kommt und man sich das mal so für 5 Minuten angucken kann. Aber ja, es ist eine Momentaufnahme, wissen wir natürlich auch.
Doppelpackerin. Und dann wird Remina Schieber aber noch gefeiert. Die hätte ich ja noch übertroffen.
Ja, darf sie ruhig. Also an so einem Tag, das war echt eine runde Sache, muss ich sagen. Wie immer schöne Stimmung hier, was nicht selbstverständlich ist, an so einem Regentag. Und dann, glaube ich, haben wir von vorne bis hinten einfach ein gutes Spiel gemacht.
Absolut, und dann Freiburg überhaupt zu gar keiner Chance dann auch wirklich kommen lassen. Trotzdem, Raffaela Borgrefe, die gegnerische Keeperin, hat das echt stark gemacht heute. Wie schwierig war es, gegen sie anzulaufen?
Ja, wir haben einige Chancen vergeben, auch wieder heute, was natürlich nach einem 6:0 immer in Ordnung ist. Da meckert keiner. Trotzdem glaube ich, klar, hätten wir ein paar mehr machen müssen. Ich glaube, gerade in der ersten Halbzeit, wir kamen in die Kabine und ich dachte mir so, müssen wir noch einen nachlegen, weil 1:0 ist auf jeden Fall nicht genug bei so einem Spiel. Ich glaube, dann hat natürlich die relativ schnelle rote Karte in der zweiten Halbzeit, ist natürlich schwierig für Freiburg und ich glaube, wir haben es dann auch einfach gut gemacht.
Keine Gegentore zu Hause, beste Offensive der Liga. Du hast ja gerade schon so ein bisschen die Handbremse gezogen, aber was macht euch gerade so stark?
Ich glaube, wir haben Spaß. Das hilft immer. Ich glaube, wir spielen Fußball, auch der Spaß macht, der auch Spaß macht zu gucken. Das ist auch schön. Und ich glaube, unsere Basis ist aber trotzdem immer, dass wir sehr präsent sind. Ich glaube, in Spielen, zum Beispiel letztes Spiel gegen Essen, erste Halbzeit, da waren wir nicht da. Da waren wir auch nicht in den Zweikämpfen da. Und wenn die Basis bei uns nicht gegeben ist, spielen wir auch keinen guten Fußball. Ich glaube, das haben wir heute wieder sehr, sehr gut gemacht, waren präsent und dann funktioniert es nach vorne immer gut.
Ab in die Kabine. Es ist kalt. Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. Ciao.
Wer immer da ist, möge zu mir kommen. So. Genau. Ja, wir müssen noch ein bisschen rüber. Nico Nautus, der Coach der Tabellenführerin. Das ist klar und alle bremsen wieder einen Moment.